What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Cjthecheesedj here, and we are back with another top 10 video for you guys today. And today we are covering top 10 dinos with special abilities. Now guys, it's a very hard list to come up with because, as you guys know, there are a lot of dinos with a lot of special abilities. So what we've tried to do is we've tried to narrow it down and sort of just made it so that there's one single type of a creature with special abilities, if that makes sense. So we've pretty much done it by least coolest to coolest. So number 10 is least coolest, number 1 is the coolest ability. So guys, before we begin the video, don't forget you can check out the server link down below in the description, as well as host your own servers. We're using my Nitrado server link if you'd like. But guys, let's jump straight into the video now. Alrighty, so coming in at number 10, we have the lantern creatures. Now, these guys are all really hella cute. They all have a real good purpose as well. And they are actually the only creature on all maps that have this ability. So, I mean, obviously there's 4 of them. You've got the lantern lizard, he's the glowtail, the feather flight, and the shinehorn. I'm used to calling them lantern creatures because that's what their spawning command is. As well as the bulb dog. Now, all these guys are heckin' adorable, except for the bulb dog. I'm not really the biggest fan of the bulb dog. That's why he's over here away from the others. But these guys pretty much produce charge. And that allows you to keep the nameless off you, keep reapers away from you, as well as deal extra damage to any reapers that are around you if you do get into a battle. And they're really great. They're really adorable. I love these guys. They're so good. And that is why they're at number 10, just because of their glow ability. That is detrimental to surviving aberration. Without these guys, you would not survive aberration. So guys, let's move on to number 9. So guys, coming in at number 9, we have the Basilisk. Now, you guys are probably wondering, well, what special ability does the Basilisk have? Well, the Basilisk has the ability to bury underground and take the rider with them. So you can see here, we are able to move underground over rocks, which is, it's kind of weird. It's kind of funny though at the same time. Now, this is the only creature in all of Ark, as far as I'm aware, that actually has this ability, which is really cool when you think about it. Now, obviously it does affect your oxygen stat, but you can pretty much use it to get away from dinos if you so choose to, and you can pretty much lie in wait for any enemy dinos that come up. And it's a really great ability to just spring on your enemy, especially if you're hidden in foliage or anything like that. And the only downside is obviously there is a cooldown, but that should not deter you from burying underground with this guy. I just wish it would tell you how long the cooldown was, because I'm not 100% sure what the cooldown is. But the Basilisk is one of the coolest dinos with a special ability. And like I said, this ability is not on any other sort of creature in the game. So the Basilisk definitely deserves its spot up here at number 9. Let's move on to number 8. Now guys, coming in at number 8, we have the Cjthecheesedj. Now, once again, this guy has a grab ability, so that isn't what makes him unique. But his ability to shoot out oil, I think, is pretty cool. That is one special ability that he has. Another one that really sets him apart, though, is that he has the ability to pretty much deal torpor damage to creatures that he grabs in his tentacles. Now, you can obviously choose to attack stuff, but you can also knock things out. Now, this is perfect for creatures like the donkey, which take absolutely forever to knock out in using like trank stuff. But you can see here that the Tuso holds him, and it actually does torpor damage over time. So you can see that we're holding him. I don't want to jump off him because I know it's going to attack him. But if we pull out our rifle, and we should be able to see the donkey's stats. You can see there that his torpidity is actually dropping, but we did do the torpor damage, and his health has gone back up to full. So it is possible to do a lot of torpor damage with a Tuso. And for creatures like the donkey, or even like Mosasauruses and stuff like that, which you technically can't grab, you can glitch them out though, or plesiosaurs, you can actually knock them out really easily using the Tuso, which is what sets him apart from some of the other dinos on this list, the fact that he is able to grab and deal the torpor damage. So I would definitely recommend getting yourselves a Tuso and using them for your underwater adventures at all costs, guys. Like, it's a really good investment. They are a little bit hard to tame if you don't know how to do it, but pretty much all you need is silica pearls and a bunch of black pearls, and a bunch of time, and a bunch of tames with really high health. Pretty much turtles, even megalodons can get the job done. But guys, that's why the Tuso comes in at number 8 on the list. Alrighty guys, now coming in at number 7, we have the Yutyrannus. Now, this guy is the only creature in the entire game that has this ability. And as far as I can tell, there aren't any other sort of creatures that actually can do what the Yutyrannus does. So essentially what the Yutyrannus is able to do is he's able to chomp on dinos, that's a given, but he can actually encourage roar as well as decourage roar. Now the decourage roar pretty much causes creatures to take more damage as well as smaller creatures to become scared, which is really good for raiding, as well as using them for bosses battles. Now obviously the decourage roar does not work on bosses, but the buffing roar does. So what we'll do is we've just spawned in another Yuty just to show you guys the buff roar, and you can see here that didn't work. Let's try that again. There we go. You can see there that this Yutyrannus is now buffed up with the courage roar, and this will enable him to deal more damage. Now this is the ability you want to be using on the bosses for your creatures, and this paired with the debuff roar for like tamed creatures as well just increases the damage output so much for the Yuty. It is ridiculously good, and I would definitely recommend taming yourself up a couple of these boys because they can deal the damage. As well as that, their stats are their actual baseline stats are exactly the same as a Rex. So not only do they hit as hard as a Rex, but they also have the added benefit of being able to do a courage as well as a decourage roar. So I definitely recommend getting a pair of these guys. But as well as that, their eggs are also the highest producing kibble. So you can use it to make, I think it's extraordinary kibble, which is the highest kibble in the game, which you can use to tame any creature in Ark. So guys, let's move on to number 6. Now guys, coming in at number 6, we have the Karkanos. Now the Karkanos is, in my opinion, one of my favorite creatures. In my opinion, he is one of my favorite creatures. Now this is namely due to him being able to pretty much jump and just lob dinos wherever he pretty much wants, because he has the ability to pick up enemy dinos, or any dinos for that, well, not any dinos, but certain dinos for that matter, and then just chuck them across the map if he so chooses. So you can see over here, this poor Ovis is getting chased by a Scorpion and a Sarco. We're going to try and save it. I don't think we're going to make it, but you can see there, we've just picked up the Sarco. I don't know where the Scorpion's gone. He's just chowing down on the Ovis, I guess. I don't know. But you can see here, we do have a Sarco in our claws. We're going to grab this Scorpion real quick, and boom. Just like that, guys, we've got 2 tames in our hands, and you can actually chuck these guys across the map. There they go. Adios, fellow Scorpion, I guess. And can we throw the Crocodile's gone. The Sarco's gone. He's flying. So that is one. I mean, you obviously have RGs and Quetzals and stuff like that can pick dinos up as well, but none of them can launch like the Karkanos can. So I find it really hilarious. It's really fun to use. As well as that, the Karkanos' grab ability allows you to have, say, a Doedicurus and a Moschops in each claw and actually use them to harvest and farm nodes as well as corpses of enemy dinos. So the Karkanos is really great for that. As well as that, he can jump as well. So it's kind of like an all-in-one sort of package with the Karkanos. But guys, that's why the Karkanos is number 6 on the list. Now guys, coming in at number 5, we have the Gas Bag. Now this guy is really cool. His special ability, I think, is just absolutely dope, and that is the ability to suck in air and pretty much use it for whatever he wants, really. So you can see down the bottom there, we've got the gas bar. That pretty much means how much gas is in the gas bag system. You can increase this by bumping the oxygen skill up, but this is what enables the gas bag to fly through the skies. I mean, if you want to call it flying, I'm going to say falling in style. But as well as this, you can also use the gas bag to soak. And this makes him one of the best soakers in the game, as you can equip the gas bag with a saddle, and it is located in his hind section. And these guys do take the reduced damage when they are puffed up with gas. And gas bag saddle blueprints are a lot easier to find than some of the other soakers in terms of like level, so like Journeyman, Mastercraft and that sort of stuff. These guys are really good, but I just love their ability to be able to fly. As well as that, they're really good transport mounts. Like, they've got really good amounts of weight, so that's another added benefit. But guys, that's why the gas bags come in at number 5. Let's move on to number 4. Now, coming in at number 4, we have the Snow Owl. The Snow Owl's special ability is obviously he has the ability to glide. Like the Griffin, he is one of the only 2 creatures in the game that has this ability. Oh, technically the Rock Drake, but the Snow Owl can glide as well. It's just annoying how other flyers don't have it. But as well as that, he also has the ability to freeze anything really, enemy dinos or dinos in general, or players. That's kind of funky. And you can see here we have frozen the mammoth around us. Now this is really good for PvP, as you can actually dive bomb onto enemy players and enemy teams and freeze them. And because the radius of the dive bomb is actually pretty large, you can freeze quite a bit in an area. You can see he will get all of that. Okay, we missed the Yeti, but that's okay. But yeah, now the only downside to this is that obviously it heals them. But that is another added ability of the Snow Owl, that he has the ability to heal not only enemy dinos, but your own teams, which, you know, is really good. Now, this doubles up for the Snow Owl, as he can actually act as a soaker. So if you're flying around and you actually fly up like this, you can soak enemy bullets by protecting yourself using the Snow Owl and his big, well, not his big frame, but his head. And when you've taken too much damage, you can simply retreat and just heal yourself back up to full health, and you'll be all sweet and ready to soak again. Now, depending on how much stamina you have, that is determined how much healing you will do. Obviously, the more stamina, the more healing, which I would recommend pumping stamina up on these guys, as well as health if you want them to be a bit of a soaker. But guys, that's why the Snow Owl comes in at number 4 on the list. Now, coming in at number 3, we have the Phoenix. The Phoenix is the only one of its kind, and it's okay, it's pretty impressive. Now, this guy is only tameable on Scorched Earth during a superheat event, but he has the ability to throw fireballs. Yeah, you heard me correctly, fireballs through enemies. As well as that, he can also do a bit of a, I don't know if it's what you would call it, like a dive bomb attack? Not a dive bomb attack, like a B-99 bomb dropping attack. You can see there we set stuff on fire. By holding down spacebar, you increase the speed of your Phoenix, and you actually set things on fire as you fly past them. You can see there those Carnos are now on fire. The Woolly Rhino is also on fire. So it's an added ability that makes the Phoenix that little bit better. As well as that, you can also use it to speed yourself up, as his base flying speed is really slow. He doesn't have any glide ability, which is a bit of a shame, but he is able to also smelt metal and cook meat in his inventory. And that makes him the only creature that is able to do so. But he also has the fireball attack. Now, technically fire attacks aren't a big deal in Ark. The Fire Wyvern can breathe the breath, but the fireball does the same sort of thing. Sets them on fire, deals damage over time based on their health, and it's really good for that. I did not know they could actually get feared by the Yeti. I was not expecting that. But you can see there we've just cooked a single, well, we're cooking the meat now as I talk. So you can see here he's good for sort of transporting meat. His stamina is okay, his weight is a bit annoying, and it actually doesn't reduce the weight of metal in his inventory, which is also sort of dumb. So the devs have sort of lucked out on the Phoenix, and I do think he needs a little bit of a changeover, a little bit of a retouch, because some of the mods out there that have the Phoenix in them are absolutely superb. They're so good. If you guys have seen my modded playthrough, you'll know what I'm talking about. But the Phoenix is the only creature that has this sort of dive bomb, not dive bomb attack, B-99 bomber attack, I guess you could say. So that's what makes this guy come in at number 3. The only other special ability he has that I'm aware of is his ability not to frickin' land. Do you know how frustrating that is? Why would you make him? He's got legs, yet he does not land. You cannot make the Phoenix land. It is so dumb. Let's move on to number 2 now before I just rage quit. Alrighty guys, now coming in at number 2, we have these little sad looking fellas, the Gatchas. These guys are once again one of the only creature that has this ability in Ark, and that is the ability to produce gacha crystals, which contain various resources and items in them. Now you can get rarer gacha crystals, and they will actually give you items if you feed them snow owl pellets and sort of rare tier items or blueprints. Now you can use these guys to practically farm, I believe, almost every material in Ark, which is pretty nuts when you think about it. Like, these guys can produce stone, flint, thatch, fiber, black pearls, silica pearls, oil, obsidian, metal, crystal, element. Element dust. That is pretty much, yeah, wood, fungal wood, any sort of resource in the game. These guys can produce it. So it is pretty crazy to think about that. Like, if you tame an army of these guys up, you'll be able to produce every resource in the game. And that'll make farming a heck of a lot easier. Just make sure you don't pair them together, otherwise they'll get sad because they don't like cheating on each other, I guess. But guys, let's move on to the final creature at number 1. Now guys, finally the creature you've all been waiting for at number 1 is the Rock Drake. Now, once again, this is all based on my opinion. If this is not the creature you guys were expecting, I apologize for that. But I think the Rock Drake is the best creature with special abilities, well, the special abilities in all of Ark. He's just an absolute powerhouse, and he's kind of got a whole heap of abilities mixed into him. So not only does he have the ability to climb up walls like the Megalania, like the Thylacoleo, he sticks to the walls as well. He has the ability to jump and glide like griffins, like snow owls, like Karkanos, not Karkanoses, they're a bit too jumpy for the Rock Drake. He can scale walls though, and he's just incredible. As well as that, he can go invisible. Only creature to be able to go invisible as well, and you know, it doesn't really do anything in terms of the general gameplay. I guess, you know, I've used it a couple of times to save myself from enemy PvPers, and they haven't actually been able to find me on my Rock Drake. It's come in handy quite a few times, if I'm being honest. But just his ability to be able to dive and do this, as I don't know if you would call that a dive bomb attack, but the dive attack where he can pretty much transport himself to wars, makes him a really valuable creature, and in my opinion, the best creature with special abilities in all of Ark. He's sort of just an amalgamation of everything, with the added effect of being able to go invisible. And like I said, he also has the ability to detect Reaper Queens as well. So if Reaper Queens are in the area, he can actually sense them using his frills. They flare up and you're able to tell whether they're there or not. And he's just incredible. He's got passenger seats on his saddle as well as a tech saddle. This guy's just the real deal. So guys, the Rock Drake comes in at number 1 on the list. And that is pretty much going to wrap up today's video, guys. Let me know what you thought of it down below in the comments. Let me know whether or not you would have swapped anything out on the list. But other than that, guys, thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to join the Discord, and I will catch you in the next one.